the data is going to be the rawest, most
Mhm.
foundational form as of the digitization of that industry.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
it like what's important for them to review at the most basic level, all the way down here, and then all of that trickles all the way up to the industry that
Mhm.
gets reported on to Nasdaq, or to what the actual market is saying is
Yeah.
happening with that data.
Yep. We kind of like escalated that way, and that's definitely so at the core. I thought this example was like the one that you were just mentioning. Like this is the most common use type of a database, the one that you were
Yeah, this
referring
is
as
a
the
relational. This
relational.
is because this is, we like to have control,
Hmm.
right? Because things that are have rules and that have set guidelines and structure and relations is, you like to have rules around that, right? We That's why we have, like, a lot of the science, we have rules around it, right? Like gravity, right? Like, think that's just how it, like, we want it to, that's how we want it to work, that's how it works,
Hmm.
right? And it's a little bit harder on this relational database side. At least for me, it's hard because with all of the knowledge and understanding of the industry and of the industries and of the problems that our clients have and CRMs, you start to see patterns. And that's kind of how these relation, like, you have to build a couple of these to say, hey, well, you know what, I'm starting to see a pattern that I'm building the customer relation management portion of my application very similar to the past 20 applications that I have done the similar things to. So once you get to that point, then you start to notice, you know what, this has a structure and a pattern and the base that needs to always stay the same. And it doesn't matter which application I'm using, which industry I'm using, the CRM is always going to look this similar, very similar,
Hmm.
right? You have your
Yep.
leads, your customers, you have the customer information,
Same.
and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And the same thing
We
for employee
use
management.
yeah, we use the same cycle stages. We just call it a different stage, but they're
It's just
exactly the same.
nomenclature at the same time at that point.
Yeah.
But when you look at the finest level of detail at the
Hmm.
bottom, it's the same stuff. It's just getting trickled up to the same. It's getting trickled up to the same end result, being called different things along the way.
Correct. Yep. So I
And that's
guess
what.
the
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I was just gonna wrap it up with this relational stuff, as this is the part that, part of, like, if you're working on a project or working on some software development, this is the part that you want to solidify or
Mhm.
identify what needs to be solid in your application, what needs to be structured. It must be this way. Does it have a
Mhm.
customer? Do you need to capture customer information? Do you need to capture product information, staff information, or some relationship information between all three of those, which is the base fact, right? Here
Mhm.
on the screen. Um, and then from there, that is your rule, right? You are going to capture these things. Which ones are mandatory? Which ones are not? Maybe some of
Mhm.
them have some logic or conditional logic behind them, but they're
Mhm.
always, that is the structure.
Same.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's always going to be the same after that. After
Mhm.
you set it like
Oh,
that,
and
that's the
it's
structure.
yeah, and it's also the same in each department, right? So it's
Correct.
like
You will duplicate it each time. You will copy and
mhm.
paste it. Yes. Or you
Exactly.
would build this in a way that you would just add another field here, right? Now you just have,
Hmm.
now is the depart, you see the staff is the only one that has department. Well,
Hmm.
now you might need to have a relationship between product and
But
customer and add a
yeah.
relationship field that is department, and it must reference to the department table that
Oh, I
is
like
in the
that.
stack.
You just did something. Um, what is it called in SQL? I think I read about that.
It's
You
a
are,
relation. I
yeah, it's a
built a
relation.
relation. Yeah,
So, but
a
you and
reference
you
table.
you haven't
I've done
initiated any
referencing.
referencing. Okay, yeah, because you didn't create any table there. You just left
I created a
the
reference
department.
key. Yeah,
Uh,
it's called a foreign key, right? It's a reference
mm,
key. And what we've done here is created a reference key on the customer product to look at
yeah.
that it
the-
must exist of something that is part of the staff table, particularly
mm,
the department
exactly.
record.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So, um, a lot of this reading got me super excited because I myself have been doing some type of learning because to me it's a little bit above my level of understanding. I wish I knew a little bit more, but SQL, now I found these. I didn't know about this until yesterday. Okay. So,
Yeah,
the,
NoSQL's fun. I'll be
so,
completely
so I didn't know
honest.
there was
Yeah,
a word with SQL. Apparently there is. I didn't, like that's so funny. What's it? The
what does it stand
NoSQL
for? You know
is
what NoSQL stands for?
yes. It's like not the type sequel. So that's
Not,
like
yeah, not only SQL is what it stands for.
it's like whoa, like everybody got so excited about like where is this name coming from? Whoever invented it is just a little bit,
They were too smart.
exactly.
They said, "Look,
I thought that
I have a tool for this for very
yeah.
structured data that I have
Hmm.
to create the rules and schema and everything about." And I and dude and they were faced with a problem, and they're like, "Dude,
Yeah.
I have no freaking way to organize it like this. I have no
Yeah.
way to, it's so dynamic that I can't put a structure to the schema. I don't even know what tables information to populate the data into. I know I need to capture this information and I need to
Yeah.
structure it, and I just need to grab it, right?
Hmm.
But I don't know where to put it in here yet, but I need a place to store it.
I think
No,
we invented our
that's
problem.
no sequel.
Yeah. Like
I
the
know what
way
the
that
solution is.
we
I'm going to build something that is not for SQL. Here's where I'm going to put everything else that is not a structured query language.